Hello guys, this is going to be a tutorial on a game, and I usually don't do this, but since this game isn't very popular, it's not very well known, I thought it might be good to make a tutorial on it. Interstellar Rift is actually quite a good game. It's got all kinds of spaceships and stuff, but you probably know that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a single player world. So you can just go solo game, and then it's mainly multiplayer, but you can do solo game too. So I'm just gonna do this video game, and then we will turn this off, and wait, new game. Okay, so basically the main things you want to know is how to build your ship, and also how to control your ship. Other stuff like trading and stuff isn't as important as those two, so I'm gonna show you those two first. At the beginning, what will happen is when you load your world, you'll get an option of 4 different factions, and I skipped through that because I'm used to selecting Hurl's Co. And I usually select Hurl's Co. because it has everything in the starter station that you need, and it's got the starter materials, hydrogen and oxygen, so that's pretty good. You can choose other ones. I'm not sure what benefits they have, but you can look it up. So what happens is you'll spawn in this teleporter, and then you got all these nice things. You got Storotron, and you got these this loan machine. So it shows you how much money you have. You can also get a loan. They used to make it so you didn't have to pay your debt, but now they've added this. So each debt. So let's say I get this. You can see that it shows 2.5%. So that means 2.5% of my transactions. So if I buy some of this water, 2.5% will go to the debt, so I have to pay more than what is needed for the water. Okay, so that's why debts are pretty bad if you get a bunch of them. So this right here is your vault, and you can select personal, and then you can if you click that. Oh, you can't click it because you don't have a fleet, but if you were to create a fleet, let me just test, and then we'll go. Oh god, why is it not working? Okay, I'm not sure why this isn't working. I'm stuck now. Hold on. Okay, so I fixed it, you can see, and now I can, hold on, you just have to respawn, and then you fix the bug. So that was kind of weird. I'm not sure what happened. Just ignore this. So what happens is when you first tab, you've got this little Omni tool, and it's very useful because there's multiple things you can do with it. So you can have ship map. This basically tells you everything about the ship that you're on. If you got the device manager, it shows you, so this tells you what the power on your device is. So let's say you had no power, ignore that. Okay, let's say you had no power on this door, right? So what you do is you would go to device manager, you would select it, and then you can see it's got operational, you can deactivate it, there's all kinds of things you can do. You can connect it, and then you'll give it power, but since it already has power, you don't need to do that. So no power drained from the grip tool, but that's one of the useful things if you need to get through a ship and you ran out of power. You can also add solar panel to your ship, so you don't have to do that. But first we're going to take a look at this. So this galactic trade is very useful. In multiplayer, a lot of these will be drained, so that's not very good, but hydrogen is your main ship fuel. You can also use nuclear power or solar power, but that's more complicated, and solar power isn't that good to make a ship go move. It's mainly used so you can have emergency backup power if you run out of hydrogen. So nitrogen, this allows you to it allows you to make this material called xanthium, I think, and the xanthium allows you to travel through different solar systems. And then you've also got silicon, that's mainly just used to build your ship. Zinc, I'm not sure. Water is very useful because you can turn water into either hydrogen or oxygen. And oxygen you need, to breathe on your ship, and hydrogen is fuel. And then copper is used to build ships, iron is too, and then you've also got these are the ores right here, and then these are like the ingots, like Minecraft. And then you've got oxygen, and then you've got, oh yes, carbon is very useful because it's used to make steel. So if you combine carbon with iron, you make steel, and steel is another component for ships. Okay, I think that's it. You can just select buy, and then you can select how much you want, and then you put buy and stuff. And if we go to the storage run, which is probably the first thing you want to go to, because it can repair your ship, and another thing you can do is it can store your ship, which is very useful. So if you in a multiplayer server and you want to store your ship, so it wouldn't get damaged if when you were gone, you can just select it, so there will be a ship there and you could put it there, and then you can also take it out, and it's completely free to do that in game. And then repair ship does cost in game money, but it's very useful because you can repair like everything without you having to use a repair tool. And then here each faction has its own little ship that you can buy. It's about this money, and then for example the Herzko has a mining ship you can buy, and then the S3 has a sort of a fighting ship. So what we're going to do is we're going to purchase this ship as a starter ship, and you can see it somewhere around here. Oh, there it is, right there. Okay, so you can see it looks pretty cool, and it should be in range with the teleporter, and you can see it shows up as yellow, and then it shows your name. That's my name right there. So we want to get some fuel, and luckily we start out with fuel. So let's wait a second. Oh, my fuel's gone. That's weird. Must have been from that bug. Okay, so let's just buy some fuel. It's not that much money. So let's buy about let's buy 9,000. Okay, so and then we probably need some oxygen too. So let's buy. Okay, so we got some oxygen. And before I want to go on the ship, I want to show you other things. So in here, there's not much here. It's just a passageway, like extra rooms. In the construction terminal, doors basically separate each room. That's why its passageway is like its own room. This is just a weapon rack. Mostly decorations. You just can ignore that. I can't get off here. Okay, so if we go down here, in the Herzko station, you've got a construction terminal. I think every station has that, but it's just where you can build your ships. Let's say you have a ship that you want to build. You can, so all the things show up here that you can build. And then the Steam icon right here are from Steam Workshop if you subscribed. And then salvage, you can salvage the ships that you don't want anymore, which is pretty useful. And then you can also modify, basically go into the editor and modify a ship that's already in space, and then you can design the ship. And I'm not going to show you that right now. That's probably going to be like a part 2. If we go in here, you've got these are cargo transporters. So we can actually transport, I think the thing has some solar panels, so it should be fine. So we can actually transport this to a ship, and you can choose which cargo pad you want. I'm just gonna put it into the mining. Ooh, more hydrogen tank. Hey, that's pretty useful. You can just deposit it right into the hydrogen tank. I did not know that. So you can select hydrogen tank, or you can select cargo if it's like ore, and you select hydrogen tank, and you just teleport like that. Pretty cool. And then we've also got oxygen. I'll keep that in my inventory. So that's how a cargo transporter works. You can also have them on your station. You can't have like shops on your station. That's like a server, like it only appears on admin stations or things like that. You can't put it on your ship because that would kind of be cheating. And then here you've got a disposal unit. You can add this on your ship. I kind of don't want to use it right now, but it's pretty cool. You just put it out into space. It doesn't go away forever. You can salvage it though with a salvager unit, which is pretty useful. You can also deposit drones out there, like certain drones you can just put out there into space and they'll defend, and then you can take them back by using a salvaging unit, so that's pretty cool. And then here we got an extractor. This is one of the cool things about the Hills Coast Station. They have refineries right here, and then they've also got extractors, and basically these are miners. So you can see this asteroid has a bunch of water, so it's an icy asteroid, so we can try mining that, and you can see what it looks like. And this will contain water, and then it will take the water and put it on the cargo pad. And then over here, let's see if we can find another one. So here, this is a different type of asteroid. It's got carbon, iron, and copper, you can see. And then I'll show you how a refinery works. So let's take some copper or carbon, and then what we can do is we can plop it into the refinery like this. See? And then you've got the refinery, you got the carbon here, and if you want to take it out, you can just click that arrow right there, and you'll take it out. The thing can only hold this many items, and then you can choose what you want to build here. Right now you can't build anything because you only have carbon, and then out here show you how long it's gonna take to build. Okay, so let's get some more materials. Here we've got iron and copper, so if we plop some iron in here, and then you can see we've got a bunch of iron ore here, and then you can see now we can build iron ingots. So let's process that, and you can see how long it's gonna take. You can see what it's done, and then, yeah, and then you can see it comes out like this. And then this is gonna be different from iron ore because it's got ingot ice, and you can, because iron ore can't be used for anything, you can only be used to smelt into iron. And then you've got more iron. And then we can try the disposal unit. Let's say you didn't want copper, so you can drop it in there, and you can see it goes out into space, which is pretty cool. That's basically how a refinery works. If you want to know what like an item is used for, you just click it. Make sure you don't click that because that takes it out, that little arrow. Just click it in the center, and then you can see it's used in steel. And then if you put like some iron ingots in, you can see what that's used for. It's steel, beacon, standard shells, that's like bullets, and then this is nuclear fuel, and then you got turbines, that's also for nuclear power, and then drone parts, which is for drones. And then you've also got this beacon, that's pretty useful because it shows you where to go in space. And then now you can see I've got carbon and iron, so let's say I wanted to know what steel is used for. I click that, and you can see it make 1 carbon and 2 iron. And then you can also go like beacon, and then you can see what that's made of, and then you can see like what silicon's used in, and then all kinds of stuff. It's actually very useful. And then now we can make some steel, and you can see it's not 400 iron because they've only got so much carbon. And then we can take some steel, and it's gray now. That's pretty cool. And let's take that out, and let's take all the water. And then what you can do is once you've got all your materials, you can't have them in your inventory once you want to build the ship. You can have them in your inventory, but it's better to put them in your vault. So when you build a ship in the construction terminal, it'll just take the stuff from your vault. Oh, and it looks like my my fuel and stuff has appeared, so that's pretty useful. Okay, so that's it basically in basics. Let's see what it's like to fly a ship. So let's get on the ship. Okay, so we're on the ship, and you can see it's got a different kind of teleporter. There are 2 types of teleporter. I don't know, you might be playing on a later version, so there might be new kinds of teleporter, but right now there are 2 kinds. There's a small range, which has like 500 meters, I think, and then a long range is like 2,000 or something. So long range are better, but they cost more materials, and I think they require the same amount of power, but I'm not sure. So you got in here, you can see it's already got power because we deposited some fuel, and then you can see you got fuel storage. So let's go down here, and then I'll show you what these things are. So these are power cells. Basically, they store energy in case you run out of generators. They will store energy, and you can see you've got energy inside of them and stuff. So that's pretty useful. And then these are generators. These are the basic generators. There are two types. There's the big generator, which I don't think is on the ship, and then there's just one. You probably need a lot of small generators compared to the other ones. So you can see we've got low tab. I mean, you've got low oxygen environment. So put some oxygen in, and you can see that message goes away. You're probably wondering what this greetings contract is. So it's just a thing from your faction, whatever you chose. So let's just ignore that. That's kind of useless. And then a good thing about this, you don't actually have to mine for carbon. So when you put in oxygen, you actually get carbon from the oxygen, like excess carbon. I mean, it's very slow, but it is pretty useful in case you need steel later on. And then here is the hydrogen tank. This is the smallest hydrogen tank. There are 3 different hydrogen tanks: small, medium, and large. And then you can just see how much hydrogen it's got right there. And then you can have 2 different hydrogen tanks. So this one could have 6,000, another one could have like 2,000. So that's pretty useful. And then you can control which generators do what in the editor. But if you don't choose anything, they'll just fuel the whole ship. So let's just I think that's everything I can put in. Okay, that's good. We've fueled everything. So let's go out. And then you've also got a respawn thing here. This is we remember respawning, so this is what it looks like. So every ship should have that in case you die and you're in the middle of space, and you can just respawn. There's another generator there. So the good thing about Heroes Code is you got extractors in your starter ship, so you can just mine wherever you are. So that's pretty useful. And then I don't know if it has a refinery. If it did, we would never have to go back to a station. We could just mine water and then turn it into fuel and oxygen, and then we'd never have to go back. So this is all the cargo. It's very useful. That's why I like Heroes Code. So you should definitely go with Heroes Code as the starter one. I mean, later on you can go with S3, but it's kind of hard to start off. When you're more advanced, you can try that. So here we got the bridge. Most ships are pretty symmetric except for this one, which is interesting. And then you've got this is a transponder. So let's say here, hold on, let me just show you something. If we go into the terminal, if we press E on the cockpit, several types of cockpit. This is the type 2, I think. And then you can see you can right click to look around, hold right click like that. And you can see it got shields. I don't think this ship has any shields, so that's unfortunate. This is your armor, this is your hull. So if you had a shield generator, this would show up as like 1,000 or something. And then this is your life support. So you can see the bridge has 100% and it's draining because I'm on the bridge. And then the ship has 993, so that's pretty good. And then here you got fuel. Okay, so you can see we're not draining any fuel. For usually if you're on a ship, it would drain fuel all the time. But since we have no shields, and since we're not moving, and since we're not doing anything on our ship, it won't do any fuel or barely anything. You can see I moved a little bit and it drained a bit. These lights, which are pretty interesting, these lights don't actually take any fuel. It probably only extracted some fuel because I was opening the doors. You can take a look. You can see it went down a bit. So doors barely take any fuel though. If you have a scanner on your ship, you can actually see, you press V, or you can press this, you got the scanner strength, and you can go for filters, and you got all these different filters, and you can see, so nitrogen would go higher if we were near nitrogen, and so far, nothing. This is basically 0. There's a way to, yeah, okay, so if you press Z, you can go in third person of your ship. You see what it looks like. I think this ship actually looks pretty cool. Oh, you can see it's got some solar panels on the side. So that's a pretty interesting. I think there's a thing hitting me. So you can see armor's going down. Oh, No, it's not. Okay, I think it's fine. But if you got shot, armor would go down. That's why shields are better, because armor doesn't regenerate unless you go to a station and you repair it. Okay, so here we got firewalls, and basically other ships, if they have a cyber something, I'm not sure, but it looks a bit like an antenna, and you can put it on your ship. And then you can access, so you can see how much firewalls are. Well, it's got just 50%. That's just a basic firewall. You can also upgrade it, but that's later on. And then you can see your engine. So these are maneuvering thrusters. These allow you to turn like that. They also allow you to look around, and they don't take as much as the other thrusters. But these are the other thrusters. You can see these are the forward thrusters. They also allow you to warp. The maneuvering thrusters obviously don't allow you to warp. You got weapon stats. We don't actually have any weapons, so nothing will show up. Advanced stats, which will show you just the power generation and stuff, but that doesn't matter. And then you can also move your ship. So if you hold left click, you can move your ship like that. You can also press Q and E, and then F will make you go down, and R will make you go up, I think. You might have different controls, but you can just look at it in the options. Okay, so now if we press, let's go back. You can see if we press W, you can see we're going faster. This is just an average speed. Hold on. This is just an average speed. You can make your ship go a lot faster than that, but it doesn't actually matter, since you can warp on every ship. Well, I mean, I don't know, you might make a ship that didn't warp, but that would probably be pretty useless. So warping doesn't allow you to go like to other solar systems. They just allow you to move fast throughout the solar system. So I think we have everything. We can go. This terminal right here, you can see these triangles are asteroid belts, and the circles are planets, and you've got other things like these yellow things are defense zones, and then you got this diamond, these are stations. And then this is showing up as an asteroid field right here, because there's always an asteroid field around the station. Well, there usually is. Okay, so, and then down here is a mine drone. That's interesting. Haven't seen one of those before. I think what they do is mine, well, obviously. But what we're going to do, if you want to stop your ship, because it's kind of hard to like sort of go down because it's always slightly moving, what you can do is you can press X, and now I'll completely stop the ship wherever it's moving. It also stops warp. So let's say we wanted to go mine, so there's an asteroid field. We can, oh, that's actually a long way away. I think there's an asteroid. There's a ring right here, so let's just let's go to this ring. I don't know where the marker is for it, but you can see it's a ring right there, so that's asteroid. So we click warp, go engage, and then we can go taking a lot of power. There's not many generators, so it's probably going to be very slow to generate. Yeah, it would be a lot faster if we had more generators, but it only has 2. So that's not very good, and fuel will drain very slowly because it's not generating it into power very fast. So you can see nothing's really moving. if we go to warp 4, you can see rings start to like move faster. You can see that. So let's just stop here, and then we should be in an asteroid field, or not. Okay, never mind. Let's go. Oh, here's one. It's pretty close. So if we press T on something like that, it can show you how far away it is, and then when you go to warp, it can show you how far, how long it will take to get there. You can see it means 13 minutes, and it actually does mean that. Things like 15 like astronomical units away, which is AU. It would take like years. They will actually show up in years, and they actually mean it. They don't. You can wait years and you'll actually get there, which is pretty interesting. But of course, you're not going to do that, so we'll have to warp again. And you can see it now; it's 1 minute away. You can see this is going faster. And then we go to 8 seconds now. So you probably want to press X when it goes to 0 seconds. Also, if you're by a planet or something like that, oh shoot, I missed it. If you're by a planet, what will happen is you'll get gravitational influence, and that will actually stop your warps, which is pretty annoying. We're actually already in a asteroid belt, so let's exit by pressing escape. And then you saw those like signals out there, all those like things in the terminal, like station. If you press start broadcasting on this transponder right here, what will happen is you can see it anywhere. Anybody in the solar system will be able to see where you are, which is not very good on like a PvP server. So we are going to go down to the extractor, and then it's better if you had 2 people on the ship, which is pretty good. You can see we found, ooh, that's pretty rare. What is that? Platinum. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's mine some of that. And you can see platinum take longer to mine, but that's cool. Alright, let's put this in the storage. And this is good because this will probably sell for a lot. And then we can walk back to our station. And that's how you get money. And it's pretty good. That's why you probably shouldn't get in any like loans when you're a beginner. On like a server or something, or anywhere actually. You should probably just not get any loans when you begin a game. So we've got some iron and we can put that there. Unfortunately this doesn't have any refineries, so we'll have to refine them back at the station. But you can make your ship have refineries. I think you can even modify this ship, which is pretty cool, to have a refinery. Okay, so what you can do, that's probably the last thing I'll show you, and then the rest of it will be in part 2 as a construction terminal tutorial. So if you press V, or if you click this right here, if you press V, or you scanner string, and what you can do is you can go filters. Let's say you just really wanted some water. Yeah, okay. So let's take everything, and now all we have is water. Okay, you can see right there. And now what we can do is we can go to warp 1. Like that, and then we can go somewhere around the asteroid belt, and then we can press X, and then we'll stop, and then you can see now we're in a different place with the asteroid belt. So let's press V, and then it's not that much water, I think. Hold on, let me check. Where are, oh, we don't have a, so those little antenna things that are sticking out, those are the scanners, and they're not very strong because those are the basic level, so that's not very good, so they won't be able to scan very far. Let's go near one of these water things, and then they'll probably scan. Oh no, okay, I don't know what's wrong with the scanner, but usually if you had stronger stuff, you would see the water and it will go higher, and then you see you're near water. And that's pretty useful, and that's why you need 2 people, one to warp around and scan if there's any material that you need, and then one to mine it, so it goes pretty faster. And then this right here is a big asteroid. Well, yeah, obviously it's a big asteroid, but what I mean is it's different from the small asteroid because you can't mine it with an extractor. You actually need something called a strip miner, which is extremely big and expensive, but it's very good because these things take a long time to mine, and you can just get an endless supply of material. So if you find one with like aluminum, which is a very good material, it's rare, you will probably won't find it in your starter solar system, so that's why you have to go to another solar system, and that's why it's very useful because it's also used to build ships. So if you find a big asteroid with aluminum, you'll be very rich because you can just strip mine it and you'll get endless supply of aluminum. I think the big asteroids actually respawn, which is pretty cool. You can see there's one there, there's a bunch, but it's rare to find one that has like gold or something, platinum or uranium or something like that. So that will be the end of my tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you continue playing this game. It's very fun. It's not, I mean, there are a few bugs, so like the one that I started encountered in the first part of my game, but don't worry, it will get better. It's actually a very good game. So I hope you find this tutorial useful, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.